Hello, hello. Hi, gals. This is Mariah Young, your CEO, and I am coming on today to ask you, have you ever thought about being an author? And have you thought about what it would take to write your story? I'll be right back, and I'm going to share with you someone who is going to talk to us about that very thing today. Stay tuned. All right. Make sure that you say hello as you are jumping in and tell me where you are from. I'm not going to go through too much of an intro today, but just in case you are not sure what this signature self show is all about, we are helping women to stop being the character in someone else's narrative and to start writing their own stories. So, how perfect to have our first guest be a publisher who helps women. Well, she helps more than just women, but she helps people write their stories, different types of stories, of course. But I'm super excited to share with you. And the way that we do that, though, is that we discover your true self, we dump the junk, and then we design your ideal life. So today we're going to be talking a kind of juxtapositioning a little bit, writing a book versus writing your own story. So I'm super excited to share Jennifer with you, and you guys are definitely not going to want to miss this interview. So make sure that you stay on. And without further ado, I am going to bring on Jennifer. Woo woo! Yay! Hi, Fred. How are you?
I'm great today. Thank you for having me. How are you?
So good. I'm super excited to have you on today. Oh my gosh. So I can't wait to share. Can you, before we jump into some of the questions, can you share what you do?
Sure. I help people to get their ideas out into the world where they can do more good. And usually it takes the form of something like written content, like blog posts or books.
Perfect. Can you share with us super quickly a couple of authors and or books that you have helped to write?
Sure.
There you go.
There we go. So Legendary by Tommy Breedlove. Surviving the Flyer by R.J. Hughes. This one's a historical fiction novel. It's amazing. I love it. The Millennial Whisperer, which was a USA Today bestseller. It's by Chris Tuff.
Love that book.
And I've done books in the Lead Like a Pirate series, which is for educators.
Ooh, good books,
lots
man.
of variety.
Can we just do an interview one day where you just take all the books off of your shelf? So all those books back behind you, you've helped to make, right?
Yes, and that's really only about 1%, but I call that my trophy case.
I love it. And of course, we can see your book behind you, which we will definitely make sure we talk about. So you are the book baker.
Yes.
Hence the cute outfit. I love it. You even got your whisk in the background. You got to show that off.
So this is the one that I started with, kind of like a microphone and some TikTok videos. And somebody contacted me and said, your whisk is too small, go big or go home. So I bought a really big one.
I love that. I love that. Okay. All right. My high eye wants to get way off topic. So I'm going to pull this up and make sure we're staying on agenda. All right. So, in Signature Self, which I kind of mentioned, and I'm sure you heard, we are actually talking next year about writing our own story. We're going to be going through our stories and how they pertain for healing, really. So can you actually share a couple of steps, and you don't have to juxtaposition them with writing your story, but can you share with us the process of writing a book a little bit?
Sure. The first thing that I suggest is begin with the end in mind. So Stephen Covey's habits, right? Habit number 2. A lot of people will go about it backward, and they will just write what's inside of them, the things that they feel, led to produce, and they will tell their story, or they will, bring out their knowledge. And then later they'll try to figure out, oh gosh, well, who is this for? Who's my audience? Who am I selling to? And we really have to start the other way and lay that foundation first.
That's good.
So that's where I would suggest that people start, is ask yourself, who do you want to serve? How do you want to help them? What's the journey you want to take them on? And then how does your story, your experience, and your knowledge apply to that?
Ooh, that's so good. Because if you're writing a memoir, that's going to look different than maybe writing maybe it's a fictional type story.
Yes.
Awesome. I love that. No, I'm not going to ask another question. Okay, so that's step one that you would say. All right. What would you suggest next?
Then I would suggest determining what type of structure you want your book to take. There are all different types that work, and you want to look at, again, look at your audience, look at what you want to do to serve them, and then that will help you to pick which structure is going to be the best one for that, and then sit down and write.
I love it. Well, and the reason I think this is so key is because one of the things within our title, G.A.L.S, gorgeous, awe-inspiring ladies socializing. The awe-inspiring is there because I truly believe every woman has a story. What do you think about that? I didn't even put that in our question. Sorry.
No, that's great. I agree. Everyone has a story, probably many, many stories. And in different situations, and depending upon the goals and purposes that they want to accomplish, they can bring out different stories.
Ooh. So when you sit down with an author, I'm sorry, I'm going way off of our questions here, but
That's
you're
okay.
just dropping gold. When you sit down with an author for the first time and they're telling you they got this story to write, is that part of your process, is figuring out which story they're going to write?
Yes, definitely. And a lot of times we'll go through that developmental process and we'll say, you know what, this is great material and it does not fit this book. So let's set that aside for future books or blog posts or other material.
I could totally see that, because I feel like for me, it would be hard to narrow that down. You might have 10 stories just in one. Interesting. Okay. So, if you were talking to a brand new, this person is just going to sit down and write down their story, they're going to write down things about their life, whatever that looks like, they're writing. Is there a piece of advice that you would give them for doing that?
Yes, probably many. One that comes to mind first off is don't censor or self-edit when you're writing that draft of that story. So many of us want to do excellent work, which is a wonderful thing.
Right.
And we also will try to make it perfect as we go along. And if you think of, mixing up a cake batter or something like that, you're not worried about the frosting at the moment when you're stirring in, the eggs into the mix. So one step at a time. And when you're drafting, you're just dumping. So you have to be careful there.
Good point. Good point. I remember teaching writing in elementary, and that was something that I learned from a writing teacher was don't let the kids worry about what they're writing. In fact, have them write in pen and cross it out and keep going. And I was like, why is nobody teaching this? This is so good. Get those thoughts on paper.
Yes.
I love that. Any others? Do you have another important one that you want to make sure you get to share?
Well, one way to help you to develop that habit of not self-editing is to set a timer for 2 minutes and just bang on the keyboard as fast as you can. You're not going to hit delete, backspace, anything like that. Just go crazy for 2 minutes, and your inner editor is going to, pipe up, and it's going to be like, but that's a mistake. And so you just speak to it and just say, I'll fix it in a minute. And you just go. And when you do that, you might do that 20 different times for 2 minutes, and then it gets a little bit easier. And then you think, maybe I can do 3. And then you set that timer for 3 minutes. And before long, and when I say before long, it's going to be months for most people because we're really perfectionistic and hard on ourselves. But the day will come when you realize I can do 15 minutes at a time. I can do 20 minutes at a time without self-editing.
Okay. And I think that even, we talked Monday, you and I did a much more in-depth about a little bit about the publishing process. We actually talked about the different personalities and how they would go about a book. So I feel like that kind of fits in there a little bit, but we're not going to do that today. So you girls have, I think I posted the link. If not, I'll get it back in here with my interview with Jennifer on that. So if you're interested in that, it was actually so good. So good. I ended up making an entire post on it yesterday. No, today. I don't know what day it is.
Time's funny.
Yeah. So it's so informative, and I think it's really good to look at because we have different habits for how we do stuff and how we go about it. So can you tell us a little bit about your Book Bakery book and your program?
Okay. So the book came about because while I was leading the program, a couple of the members asked me if I could write a book for them. And so I asked a clarifying question. I said, okay, I've written you a manual. Did you receive the manual? And they're like, yes, we did. And could you, go more in depth? And so I thought, okay, yes, I can write a book for you. So I originally wrote that book for 6 people.
Oh.
And then of course, other people, heard about it, liked it, and all of that. So it really walks people through the entire process of writing their, planning and then writing their first draft of their book. And it does give an overview of the entire publishing process and things that people should look out for and things like that. But the focus is really on getting that draft done.
Awesome. And I think there's a lot of surprising steps in publishing. I remember the first time I ever looked into it, it was just a shocker to me, like all the steps. You said, I think in our last interview, there was something like 70 something steps.
Yeah, that's what I send my authors. When I first start working with a client, it's like, this is, here's what it's going to look like. This is it can be long, but it's also very detailed, and it can be really overwhelming for a lot of people. That's why I always tell people, I am here to hold your hand every step of the way. And it's an emotional roller coaster. You're going to have every feeling that you can imagine. You're going to have ups and downs, and it's all normal. So that's your mantra. This is normal. What's my next step?
That's so good. And that is why we need people like you, especially if you've never been through the process before. Like, can you share just a couple of those steps that you would say, in fact, like, what are the most difficult steps?
For most people, planning their book is the most difficult. So you think back to school when we had to write outlines for the paper that we were going to write. For most people, that was just a very bad experience. And so they're left with a bad taste in their mouth, and they think, I'm not an outliner. I don't want to do that. I don't want to plan. I just want to start writing. And you can do it that way. But then when you go to a developmental editor, it's kind of like building your house first and then going to an architect to have them help you design it. So yes, we can work with that. And, you will end up with a publishable book, but it takes more time, effort, and expense. So it's best if we just plan it and, do things right from the very beginning. That planning part is really hard for a lot of people.
That's understandable. Yeah. Because you just, not like we're taught how to write a book anywhere.
Right.
We're taught how to write papers, but that's a completely different process. Kinda.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So will you tell us a bit? So the book is a DIY. Like, you could sit down and you could write your book.
Yes.
Can you show us your book? I would love them to see it. It's so cute. Yay. And I do have a link, pretty sure, in the description of this. If not, I do know for sure I've got your website to the Book Bakery Harshman Services webpage. So you ladies can go there, find her book, and also this program that she's going to tell you about right now.
Okay. So Your Book Bakery, making it easy to write a book, is the book, and it is DIY. You can take it and just go all the way through by yourself. A lot of people don't want to do it by themselves. They'll read the book and then they'll call me and they're like, can I join and have you walk me through it? Yes, absolutely. So then Your Book Bakery, 12 Weeks to a Manuscript, is the group coaching program. And that's where I walk people through, 1 week at a time. And I send out a syllabus so they know every single day what they need to do. every single week what the call's topic is going to be. And I, present a little bit of material, and then I leave plenty of time for questions and answers. So that way, and I also keep the rooms small. Okay. So that way everyone can get all of the attention that they need.
Perfect. Yeah, because you said 10 people typically?
10 people per room. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you have one coming up in January, I believe.
Yes. Our first call will be January 9th.
Perfect. Okay, so make sure you guys go check out her website. It is in the link in the description of this video. So make sure you check that out. If you were thinking that you want someone to hold your hand through the process of writing a book, there is nothing wrong with that. Get help. If you have a story that you need to share and that you need to write, go ahead and get in contact with Jennifer. And believe me, you're going to love her. She's so easy to work with and so much fun, as you can see right here. This baker, this is Jennifer. This is her. It fits so beautifully.
And I even send out a cool goodies packet. I send treats and stickers and all the fun stuff.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like so much fun. Like people could just join just to enjoy. Like how fun would that be? All right. So thank you so much. We are going to hop off, but is there anything that you want to share before we wrap up?
I always like to tell people my motto or tagline, which is, with the right attitude and resources, you can do amazing things. And if you will choose the first, you will find the second.
Oh, I like that. Yes. Okay, ladies, if you want to write a book, you need to get in touch with Jennifer, get her book. If you're thinking about the program, go to her website. You can contact her from there. Is the best way you have a contact form, I'm guessing there?
There's a contact form. There's also email. And my email is really simple. It's my first name, Jennifer, at harshmanservices.com.
Perfect. All right. So I hope you guys will get in touch with Jennifer. And yeah, we have no show next week. Christmas, holidays, all that. We're not having one next week, but the following week is when we are actually going to start writing our stories. So make sure that you guys hop on and join. You are not going to want to miss this. This is the perfect jump off from Jennifer's interview today. You guys, it is such a key to healing and discovering ourselves. So it is a step that I find to be crucial and vital to our self-love journey. All right. Thank you so much again, Jennifer. And we are going to hop on Facebook business page, and LinkedIn for Disc and Diamond Pens to do a quick tidbit overview of what we just talked about today. So feel free to join us on there. But you guys got the best stuff here. So come and join me next 2 weeks. All right. Till next time. Have a great day, ladies. Bye.